Well, a Royal Commission into veteran suicide is one step closer. The federal parliament earlier this week supported a motion to set up a Royal Commission to look at why so many former and serving soldiers have taken their own lives. 13 veterans have died by suicide already this year. Gavin Pearce is the federal Liberal member for Braddon. He served in the Army Signal Corps for 20 years. He backed the Royal call for a Royal Commission and spoke strongly during the debate on this motion. Gavin Pearce, welcome to Breakfast.
Thanks, Fran. Good to be with you.
Parliament voted for a Royal Commission. That doesn't mean yet it'll go ahead. We spoke with the Veterans Affairs Minister, Darren Chester, who was saying if it goes ahead, the government hasn't committed. Do you believe the government and the Prime Minister is committed to a Royal Commission?
Fran, from my position, I've spoken with the Prime Minister on this, and he is genuinely wanting to do everything he possibly can for veterans and for the prevention of suicide in the veteran community. And I believe him wholeheartedly. Parliament was united the other day in accepting that motion from the floor on the voices, recommending that a Royal Commission be at least looked into. Obviously, Parliament doesn't make the decision, or that part of the Parliament doesn't make the decision. It's the Prime Minister and Cabinet. But I can tell you, Fran, that the Prime Minister is listening, both ears.
OK, but does that extend to being prepared to commit to a Royal Commission? Have you asked him to commit to a Royal Commission, and has he given you that guarantee?
I've spoken to all the Cabinet Ministers in relation to this, and I'm asking them, as is my colleagues, one in particular, Phil Thompson, the member for Herbert in Townsville, who's a veteran himself.
Who also made a very powerful speech in the Parliament.
Well, we meant it, Fran. We need to put every possible support to this cause to prevent our veterans from taking their own lives. We've had some very good results in defence. In fact, we've halved the numbers in defence. In fact, they're 50% less likely to die by suicide once they're serving. However, once they exit defence, then the opposite occurs. So they're twice as likely. And that's where we need to put our focus.
So just to be clear, though, you say you are convinced a Royal Commission is needed, but the government is not yet convinced or committed?
I'm wanting a Royal Commission, but I want an enduring Royal Commission. And I've said this from the get-go. I'm of the opinion that, a Royal Commission is going to take 6 months even just to do the terms of reference. You're then looking at another 18 months, 2 years before they hand down recommendations and have any input into reducing that suicide number. My argument, and I mean this so sincerely, is what happens to that digger next weekend whilst that Royal Commission is going on. I'm saying that we need the full powers of a Royal Commission, bar none. It needs to have the ability to, the enduring powers, the ability to subpoena witnesses, to compel witnesses, to provide protections to witnesses. And what I'm saying is we need to have the ability, and a Royal Commission doesn't necessarily do this, an off-the-shelf Royal Commission doesn't necessarily have the ability to reach back on its recommendations. So once those recommendations are handed down to Parliament, they have no reach-back powers as to the responsible agencies involved, whether they're carrying out and implementing those recommendations, and that's what I want to see.
So does that mean what you're arguing for is an immediate full-standing national commission, which is what the Prime Minister favours and has announced, and in fact they've already announced and appointed, I think, an interim commissioner, Bernadette Boss.
Bernadette Boss, yeah.
Do you want that set up straight away so it can start, but do you also want a separate Royal Commission, or do you want that national commissioner to be effectively conducting the Royal Commission?
I don't know what it'll look like. I don't make that decision, Fran, but I want the full powers of a Royal Commission, and people deserve that.
And do you believe the National Commissioner, as the Prime Minister outlined it, has the full powers of a Royal Commission? Because families of some of the Defence Force members who have taken their own lives are saying it wasn't enough. They wanted more. They wanted a Royal Commission.
Absolutely, and I've heard their voices, Fran, and we need to have the full power of a Royal Commission. But my concern is I don't think it needs to be one or the other. I want veterans looked after every day.
Sorry, just to break in there, Gavin, when you say it doesn't mean to be one or another, do you think it should be both, like concurrent?
I think as a government we can walk and chew gum at the same time on this, and it's not for simply governmental efficiencies. It's for the benefit of those diggers out there every day. It needs to have the full impact, the full powers of the full sting of a Royal Commission, but I want it every day and I want it to be enduring.
You're a veteran, and I know you've spoken to lots of veterans. The Minister, Darren Chester, told us on Tuesday that veterans aren't united on this issue, that not all veterans want a Royal Commission. Is that what you're hearing? Yeah,
well, I've heard both sides of the argument. And my heart goes out to, when we start using the words Royal Commission, we start contemplating what that really means. And, I've had during my 20 years in defence and since had to go through, I've lost count of the amount of funerals and the time that I've had to spend, trying to get people through this. This investigation is going to bring all that back, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be incredibly tough. Some of these deaths by suicide may go back 10, 15 years. And those poor families have got to relive that. So I'm concerned about that. I mentioned in my speech the other day, as I welcomed this motion for a Royal Commission, the point that we need to stand by and put the support measures in place as a government, and all the ESOs, that are the ex-service organisations, need to stand by and wrap as much support around our families and our friends that are going through this process.
And does that include, when you speak like that, Gavin, it sounds very powerful, it sounds very real. Are you worried about your own reactions to all this coming up? I mean, have you struggled with your own experiences of PTSD since leaving?
Well, I've had to deal with it. I've had to deal with quite a lot over my time, and you take it on board. And Fran, it's very difficult to articulate the amount of responsibility that we have. I was a warrant officer, and those diggers under my watch, under my command, they were like my kids. I knew them. And I remember one particular time, a young bloke took his life and under my watch. And I went to the funeral parlour with the funeral director, and I was dressing this kid in his polyester uniform. And I remember, and I'll never forget it, Fran, standing there and telling that kid that I was sorry. That as he laid in his coffin, I was sorry that I didn't see it. And there is a lot of, leaders out there, mates, people in the chain of command, that responsibility that we have for our soldiers, I can't articulate how strong that is. I think about them every day, and I genuinely want what is best for our veteran community, and I welcome the National Commissioner, but along with that, I also welcome the Families Advocate, and Gwen Churn's appointment to that position, I think, is absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
I'm behind her every step of the way, but as I said, I'm also wanting the full powers of a Royal Commission to be applied to this very serious issue.
I think the Prime Minister's probably heard that very loud and clear, Gavin. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Fran.
Gavin Pearce is the Federal Liberal member for Braddon. And if this issue has raised any issues for you, you can call Lifeline on 131114 or Open Arms, particularly if you're a former or current ADF, serving ADF personnel or family, of Open Arms on 1800 011 046. It's 1800 011 046. You're listening to RM Breakfast. It's 16 past 8.